For once, I think the red wall looks better.
Red wall looks good.
Maybe Mick just makes the red wall look good.
Yeah, I'm part of it. Blended.
Righto, what is up? It's too loud. Yo, what's up, Gypsy Gang? We are back for the Motocross Companion, and Mick has upgraded himself to the big seat. Big dog in the big suit.
Made myself to the big chair.
Yeah, mate. You're no longer at the... the table that you sit at is very important.
It's an important part of the corner.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna talk shit saying that you're on the... do I give us a test?
Hello?
Yeah.
Test.
You just talk soft, bro. Mick's got a very important job. He sits at a very important table, so I can't take that away from him. But today, for this episode of our Motocross Companion, he is at the big table with me. We've made some changes in the studio, which I'm pretty happy with. As you can see, the lighting on his camera is just superb. Mick is going to be my partner in crime for this episode of the Motocross Companion. Did you do any motocrossy stuff on the weekend? Were you around any bikes?
I've been around bikes like the last few weeks fairly heavily. Shot a commercial yesterday for Ducati, which is a bit opposite to that, and then New South Wales state title for the motocross the week before. So sort of been a non-stop 10 days of motorcycles.
Yeah, nice.
So it's been good. Which
you're never mad at.
Nah, I love it.
So you didn't get to see... for everyone that is wondering right now, we have the High Point race on 450 Moto 2, 3 laps ago. This is pretty much going to be what our show is about today, is High Point, and then the GPs are heating up as well. We're watching Coop and Tomac right now. This is an interesting moto. I think this second moto was a super interesting one for the championship because Ken actually started behind Eli, and then he worked his way through the pack, and Eli was kind of like just one sort of step behind him at every point through the moto until he kind of got to Jason Anderson. And there's been like this weird thing this year between Eli and Ando. Seems like Jason Anderson is the hardest dude for Eli to pass. And I don't know whether it's because he's the most aggressive. They had a lot of history with the Supercross Championship when Ando won last year. So I wonder whether they're not like that Jason's in his head, but he's just like extra cautious. But yeah, regardless, Kenny just looks so good in this moto. And yeah, really just like waxed everybody. Like he's 8.5 seconds ahead of Tomac, who's just now getting past Webb with 2 laps to go. So pretty impressive ride on the weekend from old Ken. And I think it sort of had to happen, eh? Like I think that Eli was starting to... Obviously they've gone like back and forth, but I feel like Eli had sort of asserted his dominance in a way over the series, and Ken hadn't... He's been doing well, but he hadn't really answered back, I don't think.
No, not till this point. Like obviously he's been coming in with some like crazy pace in some of the motos, but Eli was starting to get a bit of a run, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. But
now we're coming up to... Well, we'd be sort of starting to be midpoint of the season.
Yeah.
And, some pretty crucial rounds.
Is this the 4th or 5th round? So this would be the 4th round. So we're a third of the way through the championship.
Yeah.
Which, dude, it come up quick, eh?
It really is. And, off to Florida this weekend and start the 5th round. It's, crucial time.
Man, they've got the camera back on Kenny now. Kenny, I think, is probably the best dude in... I can't say the world because obviously you don't see him riding against the Euro dudes all the time now, but definitely in the AMA championship, I think in those long ruts, especially when it's like up and downhill the way that High Point... Like, watch this man coming down the hill here. Like, he's obviously not pushing crazy hard, but like the feet on the pegs, the precision, the timing that he has in these type of tracks. And I'm going to try to find it real quick now while we're still watching that. But
his technique is just it's an amazing technique to watch.
Yeah, it's like insane, dude. Racer X, I think it was Racer X on their Instagram. They posted a clip of him riding in like the ruts. Maybe it was in like practice or something, and it was just insane. I'm gonna try to find it now, but like, holy shit, dude! Like, he was absolutely killing it in practice on the weekend, and it was just like, it just seemed super obvious that he was gonna be the dude to beat. Doesn't look, man. I need to start sending stuff into that group chat that we've got, like when we see cool shit on Instagram, because like, it was ridiculous, dude.
I know when they did the post race on this, when they were talking after this, they were standing out there, and some of the ruts were nearly hip height.
Oh yeah,
like it was deep in some of the spots, and you can see it. Like, unless you're leaning over and into it like Ken is, it's a gnarly track.
It's
by the end of it was.
It's not rough though. Like, it is. It's super rutted. It's super deep, and it's super technical, but it's not rough. Like, yeah, I feel like the AMA stuff used to get rougher, and even like, look at him just standing up through that, dude. Like, he's such a technician, eh? But he's got like that raw speed as well. I think you see, I mean, obviously you can't say Marv doesn't have raw speed, but it just seems like Kenny can really put the hammer down, but do it super, super technically. And I think that's been like the difference this year between Ken and Eli. Like, Colorado was rough. Like, that's like a rougher version of High Point. And when you need to just bulldog and smash your way through those ruts and bumps, Eli's the man.
That's his thing.
Yeah, but when it gets like this, and it's really long ruts, really technical, but not as rough, then I think you see Kenny like sort of start to dominate, because it's almost like it takes away some of Eli's like superpower, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like, Kenny's got like that finesse, like that real detailed sort of thing. And then obviously Eli, and here we go, everyone's going to say we're hating on him, but his thing is just sending it.
Yeah, dude, straight up.
You see him over jump things, under jump things, and this, but it's incredible pace when he is there. But yeah, Kenny here, he looked awesome.
Eli's won the overall. I think, let me just check, but I'm pretty sure that gives him the points lead. Did you know if he got the points lead off this one?
No, I don't actually.
Let me see. Just go into the Bible here. RacerXOnline.com. We should reach out and do something, but they've got like Mathers and shit. They don't need us. Where am I going? MXGP results. We'll get into that later. 450 full results. I just want to know who's winning the championship right now. Dude, the 250 class was insane too, man.
Definitely. So it's pretty.
Oh, here we go. Eli's going to be talking.
Within your reach, and did that give you that extra bit of motivation today?
Absolutely. I knew where Blake was position-wise. You know, he obviously got that win there, so I had to make up some points on him there. So that was good to be in front of him, but Kenny was on it. You know, he made the pass on me early there. We were both moving through the pack pretty well, and he got away and, a little quicker than me after a few laps, but overall, good day. Nice, consistent day. So thank you to Monster Energy, Kawasaki, everyone. Good, solid day.
Congratulations, you're now tied for the points again.
Yeah, tied. So I thought so. Yeah, that's crazy, man, the way that those guys have, they've gone back and forward like that.
They'll be racing next weekend in Jacksonville, Florida. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, and I'm about to mute that shit. I want to hear what Kenny says. Fuck, this is easier when you do it, Mick. I'm not cut out for this bullshit. For everyone listening, I've got the control of the computer today. Mick's just gifted Mick an easy day, you know, like he just gets to come in, do his thing,
just chill out on the Gold Coast for a few hours and
just chill. You're moving soon too, eh?
I am indeed.
When is that? Do you know?
Yeah, it's going to be early July, coming back up this way, so back up from northern New South Wales, so it's going to be good.
And to everyone listening, that's not very significant in their life, but to me it's massive and to Mick it's massive because he drives 2 hours each way to do these shows.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Whereabouts do you live? Like pretty much Lismore, eh?
Yeah, in between Byron and Lismore, basically. So
he lives in the middle of nowhere, and he drives 2 hours to come and do 4 hours to come and do an hour show. So it's going to be massive that he is doing this for us. All right, with Kenny now. He'll be so pumped with this moto, dude.
And what that was going to mean to the overall result. At that point, had you done all you can?
Yeah, I was just going to charge, do the best I can. I went back to my Colorado settings because in the first race it was awful. Like I couldn't even ride. And then went back to my Colorado settings and felt a lot more comfortable out there, so that helped me out a lot. I just wanted to charge, get a moto win. I did not know if that was going to be in first overall or second, whatever it was, but all I could do was go out and get that win. I bumped elbows with Jason and somebody else on the start, so my start was kind of terrible, and I just charged to the front.
Congratulations, Ken. The battle between Ken Roczen and Eli Tomac.
That's cool that he went back to those back to those Colorado settings, because like pretty much what we just said, man, was it basically Colorado is just like a rougher version of High Point. So yeah, because that was like the thing where, I mean, even you said when you walked in, you're like, how did Ken do so bad in the first moto but then ride so good there? So it's pretty crazy to see like just how important the like settings are to these dudes.
it's crazy when obviously at that level. It makes you wonder what the settings could be to be such a drastic change.
Dude, like look at that, man. Like the way he
Speed.
just stood up and just slammed that rut, man. Like, yeah, Ken's on another level when it comes to that stuff. All right, so now that is over, that moto's done, we will talk a bit more about High Point. Hunter Lawrence getting his first win in the first moto. That was pretty sick.
With great speed.
Oh man, he won that thing just from pretty much like, well, I mean, he come through the pack to win. He had some really, really good lines. He made the same pass for second and then for the lead in the same turn, which obviously shows like a lot of patience, a lot of racecraft. So what do you think that means for Hunter going forward?
Oh, it's got to be pleasing for him. Obviously coming to the States now to do this, and to get that first one gets sort of like the monkey off the back a little bit, I guess, and returning from injury, did his collarbone obviously early in the year, and then it's probably the first of many, hopefully. But that pass that you just mentioned, like the speed that he carried around that first corner around the outside and then obviously to the inside, that was phenomenal. That was awesome to see. So yeah, it's great to watch.
And then just, I think what makes it even better is the fact that like it's so set up. Like a lot of times in the 250 class, you'll be thinking about guys that are like inexperienced and that they're just sending it, but that's not the case with how Hunter raced that first moto.
No, it wasn't like a dive bomb that he's just come in to do. That was a complete setup, obviously both laps or both passes in a row. So yeah, it's cool. It's going to be good to see in the future, and obviously the time in MXGP has led to extra racecraft as well. So yeah, it's awesome to see.
It's interesting to watch that, like Justin Cooper was out front and got chased down, and then it seems like, and I can't remember whether Langston said it on the commentary or not, but it seems like he just gets like insanely emotional. And I've spoken to Lucas Myrtle, who's his agent. He's also Hunter's agent. An Aussie dude, fucking legend, nicest dude. And we have like these sick bench racing sessions. Yeah. And he said like how fiery Cooper is. And I think we've seen a lot of that this year. Like the protest, like he rode that horse into the ground. Yeah. Like they wanted to get that. Like that kid wants to win. And that's what Myrtle was saying. Like he's just like, he wants it so bad. But I wonder, with a guy like that, can you want it too much? And can you want stuff to instead of like, you know, you hear people say like, oh, just let the race come to you or whatever. Yep. It's like, can you want it too much that you're trying to maybe push when it's just not there to push. Yeah,
you start to manifest on, bad things happening. So that AC thing with the protest and things like that. And then was it the second moto where him and Ferrandis collided?
Yeah.
Like things like that start to Do you want something
add on
so
you.
much? Yeah, they must. So yeah, it's interesting to see. But those Yamahas out at the gate every
Dude.
round, it's crazy.
It's insane,
They're beating
eh?
everyone out of the gate.
Not to mention that, man. Did you see Steve Mathers put together an article on Racer X online, and it was like a world manufacturer standings, and Yamaha's the leading manufacturer in both series at the moment.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
Because you've got Tonus in the MXGPs, then you've got their lights dudes. I can't remember the other guy's name in the 450 class. Then you've got all of the star dudes. You've got Ferris, you've got Barsha.
Yep.
They've been in the top 10 over here. So yeah, when you are looking at an overall picture
Yep.
of manufacturers at the moment in motocross, Yamaha is the leading manufacturer.
That's crazy to think, isn't it? So,
Dude.
especially with the dominance of KTM over the past few years as one manufacturer, but internationally, that's massive.
And think about too, like, I wonder who did the Star deal, because that created a dynasty, dude. Like, that whole Star program is really responsible for keeping Yamaha. Like, the 450s have come in and out and in and out, and they've had some good guys and they've lost some guys and they've had these building years, but like that Star Yamaha group has been just so solid continuously since really, like, they had maybe a couple of years initially, but I mean, they made some super smart signings that started with Martin and then Cooper and then Plessinger. Now they've got Ferrandis, now they've got Cooper. It just seems like they did their homework early, and then at the same time Yamaha gave them like an insanely good bike.
Yeah, that obviously the 450, they've had a bit of, what would you say, bad luck. Like Plessinger was in there this season. He got injured hard at the start sort of thing. But 250 program, the last few years.
But that Yamaha was kind of a shit bike for a while. And there would be like only like a select group of people that could seem like they could make it work.
Yeah.
So, but now it seems like Ferris really likes that bike.
Yep.
And now it seems like people, Tonus is killing it in the GPs on that thing. So it's like it almost is starting to come around to be like a bike that you'd want to be on, which it wasn't the case for a while. I just want to watch like the overall highlights package again, because that'll have the 250s. And
in sort of general, adding to that too, the Japanese manufacturers have played like a bit of catch up over these past few years.
They have, for sure, man.
And you look at just the stock bikes that are coming out from Kawasaki, Yami, and that the packages are fantastic.
Yeah, and like Cowie stepped up massive. They just released their 2020 bike, which looks really good as well. Yeah,
I do like the Cowies.
Yeah, I had one Cowie, and I broke my collarbone on it, and I broke my collarbone on it, I broke my wrist on it, and then I never fucking touched the thing again. I absolutely hated it. I think it was an 09, and it was when PC was just killing it, dude. So I was like all about that thing, and that thing spat me off more than any bike I've ever rode in my life. So, all right, so we got the highlights coming up here. Don't need to hear any of this. High Point's a sick track, man. I really like it, eh?
Yeah, it's great track to watch. You would have been there over your time in the States, I'm guessing, but as a spectator from TV point of view, it's good to watch.
It's good to watch as a spectator at the venue too.
Is it? Yeah.
We used to what we used to do is we used to stand up the motorhomes. They'd sort of park the motorhomes up along the edge of the pits, and you'd just stand on the roof of the motorhome. So actually, the couple of years that I went there, I would stand on the roof of Meddy's motorhome, and you could literally see the entire track. It was sick. Okay, so this is the first 450 moto that we're watching now.
This is where, I'm a Tomac fan. This is where he had his Tomacism. Another drop, just same
silly
sort of thing.
It is hard not to expect someone to crash a lot, but it just... how was this crash by Coop, man?
It's gnarly, yeah.
He got so lucky there. Like, the bike just downsided perfectly, and he just pretty much had to low side it. And that dirt there too, because of those rollers, the way that they are, and they rip the rollers.
Yep.
and there's like still that fluffy dirt, like it doesn't get pushed away into like sort of hard pack.
He got a pretty soft landing, luckily.
Yeah,
So good spot.
so Baggett, Anderson, Eli, Marv, Osborne, Ken, Webb, Savachi, Bogle, Barsha is the top 10 for Moto 1. So yeah, pretty good moto. Like, it was pretty cool to see Baggett come out and get the win. Dean Ferris in 11th. Jake Muspel 17th. He's still been having a really cool season, like a good season. Cool with his little brother making his debut as well. So this is the first moto that we were just talking about.
Yep.
Dude, Cooper's starts are dialed.
Yeah, they really are.
Wilson got good starts here too, man. Wilson Todd, he was in, I think, like pretty much, well, I think he's 5th right now in the start of this first moto. So obviously just like a bit of intensity. This is that line that we were talking about. Gets past Nichols, and then next lap he goes around Coop in the same fashion. So, dude, Hunter's style is so solid, man. Like, he is technically such a good rider. It's kind of crazy, man. Like, we're coming back into like the technical era of motocross, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, like you look at him, and if you probably like just looking at those couple of corners from that and what we just watched of Ken standing on the pegs coming through the corner, pretty similar, isn't it? Real good technique, you know.
And like,
look at that.
Sexton is another dude that's like crazy technical, and he's starting to really find his speed. AC is insanely technical.
Yep.
So I think like we kind of had this era in the lights class of just absolute senders winning motos, but it really starts to seem now like we're sort of getting back to like this real technical style of racing. It's sick to watch. I'm really enjoying it. And then Jesse Dobson, when we had him on the podcast and him saying like how he looks at different styles and stuff like that, seems like even everyone's really starting to pay attention to like the technical
really
side of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sick. This is the second 450 moto, which we sort of just covered.
We haven't mentioned Marv obviously yet, but he went down obviously, but his pace throughout the moto, like early on, was really good too in the first one.
Look at that, man. That's awesome. Ridiculous. To stand up like that fast into like a super deep long rut, like Kenny's just the man when it comes to that stuff. I think that'll be huge for his confidence, man. Getting a moto win like that. Second moto: Eli Tomac, Ken Roczen, Ando, Webb, Osborne, Marv, Baggett, Savachi, Bogle, Barsha. Savachi was in like 3rd for most of that. Moto. So look, all through there's Wilson, dude, again. So Wilson was like 3rd off the start. I really think, man, that if Wilson stayed over there for the rest of the series, he would really, really like pick up his pace. This is so sick, dude. AC is the man. Dude, I like, everybody knows how much I love Adam, but I had no idea that he could be this good outdoors.
Yeah, it's been pretty exciting to watch.
Sick, eh? What happened to Hunter this moto? I didn't see this moto. 4 straight, bro. So gnarly. Look at him too. Like, the thing that I love about about Adam right now. So Hunter got 3rd. So he only just missed out on the overall. Well, I mean, he would have lost either way even if he got 2nd. Wilson Todd 12th, 10th for 10th overall. Pretty good, pretty rad. It just really seems like Adam is enjoying the moment too. Like, he's not letting the moment go by. And I think that, you look at guys like Dunge in the past, Villapoto in the past, they really it seems like they let the moment go by because it's like, this is my job. And I think that there's certainly like a defense mechanism in that, to where it's like, you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid. You want to just keep your sort of eye on the prize. But like, man, these dudes don't have like super long careers.
No, they really don't.
You're a kid, you're traveling all around the country every single weekend. You got fans that want to be around you. They, engaging with you every day on social media. You're on the podium, you're winning, and it's like, they're just that this new generation of guys, it seems like they're taking it in, and it's like we went through that robot era with Dunge and Villapoto, and then now we've come out with like these young group of dudes that are super socially aware. And I think like I wonder too how much social media plays a role in that, because man, I know dudes that from when I was there that are just like basically socially retarded, and they just never, like, the first time I hung out with Baggett I was like, Jesus, homeschooling, whoa. Like, it was such an awkward encounter. And it's like, he was homeschooled, never really had anything outside of motocross. And I seriously feel like the access these dudes have to social media, it's like giving them so much more interaction and like a need to create a personality. You can't be as insulated as you used to be able to. And like, dude, James is crazy insulated and super awkward because of that. And it's like, he sort of did the social media, like he never really did the social media thing. He had it, but it's like he didn't grow up in that social media era the way that these kids have now. So like, I don't know, I think we're living in a time where these guys really get to like express who they are. Like, but dude, I want to bring this up. I meant to like a couple weeks ago actually. Justin Cooper's Instagram. Justin Cooper 32.
Like, I think the like, adding to that, I think like with people like Dean Wilson, creating the brand of Dean Wilson, of what he's doing and living that, you know, his social media presence is awesome to watch. Like, as a fan, it's good, and people like that are drawing more characters out of the sport, creating more characters in the sport, you know, and the outside of it. So I think it's pretty exciting to see. Yeah,
dude, I totally agree. There's this post he made. I feel like it was from Hangtown. Wait, did he just say? Oh, I thought he said going to be the champ. I was like, hell yeah, boy. Maybe it was this one. This is after Colorado. Man, he just basically says in this post, like, that, maybe it was, I don't know, I'm tripping. But he has this post where he says, like, he got into it with one of the riders, crashed out. Maybe it was in Supercross. And he's like, he basically just said, like, look, I'm not here to get second. I don't care. Like, if I crash out trying to pass for the lead, like, it is what it is. I'm not here to get second. I'm here to win. And that's it. That's all I'm thinking about, and that's all I'm trying to do. And it's like, it's cool that they've got that platform to say that now. And, you know, before it's like, you sort of had to say at the press conference, you're already kind of like an awkward dude to start with. You don't have like a normal life. In the case of, you know, a guy like James, you've got all these people around you that are like this constant yes men mentality. And it's like, you know, now these kids, they've got a platform, and then they've got fans that like genuinely follow these guys, and they know everything, they see every time they post. Like, I don't know, we're just living in like a cool world when it comes to that. And when I see like the way that Adam is on the podium and he's like, yes, like, he's just so, like, there's so much real emotion there. Like, I'm glad we're out of that era where like Dunge and Villapoto get on the podium and it's just like, it's just so fucking steel faced. There's just nothing there, and it's like, how am I supposed to get excited about you winning if you're not excited about it? Like, when I see Adam that excited to win, like, that makes me excited. And I just think like maybe those guys didn't understand like the impact that kind of stuff has on fans when they're just not really showing a bunch.
I agree 100%, and I think something to add to it as well is things like this, like there's many other motorcycle podcasts or motocross podcasts and that, and one of the messages that you quite often get from retired racers, whoever it might be, is, and you've had many on here, is we missed that moment, we didn't get to see that moment. And I'm not sure if, say, AC listens to other people's shows and that, but probably does. He's still going to be a moto fan.
Yeah.
And if you listen to those things, I'm sure it creates awareness as well. And there's more platforms now that people are listening to and saying, geez, I really should be enjoying this moment. And I'm not sure if AC listens to these things, but he's enjoying that moment. Like, he's living it. So it's cool, and I'm sure a lot of the other riders are. They've got more platforms to work on. So it's cool to see. It really is. It's a different time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost is like the golden age of media. Like, we really do, like, we get to see this stuff now. Like, we're in the best place we can for access, and I mean, it comes with some downside stuff as well. But I mean, it's And the other thing is too, the message that like you've had through this show, and that if people is, you know, we both love moto. There's a lot more to life than moto. Yeah, for sure. And everyone says it. You know, they retire and go, oh, gee, that opened up a whole lot of different things. If someone like AEC listens to that, or whoever might be young coming through, Cooper or something, they'd probably hear that and go, okay, I should really enjoy this time, and just it adds to it. And we're in a golden age of information, I guess. Well, the thing is too, man, is like, especially in this day and age with like everything that's available to everyone really, it's like, you know, guys like AC and Cooper, and like, if you're a big name in this sport in this age, like, you don't have to leave this sport. Like, you know, you see so many guys that like, they've come, they had their heyday, and then now they're doing whatever. Roof time. Like, they're just doing a normal job. But it's like, if you've made any kind of like impression or statement within any industry, like there are tools now to where you can, like, even with me, like, I was a filmer in the US and now I can talk about it. So it's like, I think the guys are realizing that side of things too, to where it's like, just damn, it's actually like super important to like be engaged. But yeah, so we'll move on a little bit. I've got a few other things here on our agenda. Where is it? Yeah, so Florida is the next round. So this is going to be the first time the AMA Nationals have gone to Florida in 22 years. Wow. It's crazy, eh? It really is, yeah. And when you think about it, so Florida is like the new California. It's the hub. Yeah, you've got so many dudes that live and train in Florida now, and it's probably the top 15 in both classes, really. And there's some outlier. Well, I think the lights class, there's a few more guys that want to be in California, but there's a funny thing. I don't know how many people would know, but a lot of the teams, if you're on a lights bike, they actually require you to live in California. Oh, really? Yeah. So, and I think it maybe with Alden's and that sort of stuff, they've eased up on it a little bit now because they've got these kind of facilities. But it used to be back in the day that you had to move to California. And the crazy thing is, like, it fucked people's lives, dude. Like, Nico Izzy, fucked. Josh Hill, fucked. Jason Lawrence, fucked. Like, there is so many guys that were insanely talented that, like Austin Stroop, fucked. Because they were these Midwest guys. Millsap's another guy that like, he sort of got eaten up and chewed out by it. And like, dude, even Dunge was saying, like, when he did the podcast like ages ago, he was saying that he was not ready for California. And he basically like went back, he shacked up with Lindsay, and then he went to California, and like, he said he lost himself even in his, you know, as much as a straight edge Christian dude can. Yeah. But you know, like, that whole, it's a pretty crazy little scene in that Murrieta Temecula, and like, it's sort of under documented, I reckon, in a way. But back then the teams would require that you live there. It was only the 450 guys that got to actually go and live where they wanted to. Like, Tim Ferry had his house and whatever. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So, but that's sort of eased off a little bit, but there is still some guys that sort of do that. Like, a lot of the star guys live there. They've got Swanepoel. But the thing is, it's just like logistics. So those lights bikes, they have to get rebuilt so much more than a 450 bike. So the 450 dudes, they just send out like a practice engine every now and again. But so when Malcolm was riding for JDR, they let Malcolm stay at the compound. But dude, the amount of motors, like, every week there was a motor getting shipped to Florida. Like, it was a huge logistical expense. It's crazy. Yeah. So kind of on a bit of a tangent there, but it's cool now that to see that that Florida finally has a national, because it really is becoming like the second home of motocross.
Yeah, it is, and yeah, that's crazy to think of, just some of the logistics that are involved in that. So obviously Baker's factory, with their setup and that, they'd have on-site mechanics all the time and their test mechanics.
Yeah, they've
and
got
stuff,
like the full workshop.
But without that,
so this I'm just going to chuck on because Mick actually asked what the track was like. This is the track that the GP went to in 2017 in Florida. So this is a Jason Baker Dirtworks track. So yeah, the thing with Florida, for anyone that doesn't know, there's basically no hills in Florida at all. Like, it's just completely flat. It's going to be a sand track, so we're going to have back-to-back sand tracks over the next 2 weeks. This is where Hampshire did really well, eh? So yeah, it's going to be full-blown sand track. All the dudes that live and train in Florida, I think, are going to be very well adapted because the dirt's the same. The heat, obviously, they're going to be sort of staying relatively close to their houses. So this could be, we were talking before about like it's a sort of a pivotal moment in the championship in a way, or like we're getting really down to business. Well, here's Hunter, dude. This is interesting. Hunter was sending it there in 17. Yeah, look how dominant the Cato boys were. Oi, RJ,
Yeah.
easy, mate. So like we're sort of saying, pretty like down to business end of the season now. And if you're going to give, obviously Eli has got his home race that gives him an advantage at Colorado. Yep. And now I guess is this sort of like Ken's home race? Because I saw Instagrams of Ken and AC riding here last week as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, Eli did this. Did he? Yeah.
But when you...
I forgot that Tomac did this.
But when you train at a place called Moto Sandbox in Florida, you should be looking pretty good here.
Yeah, you'd be feeling it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd love to, like... Yeah, they built some sick jumps here too. I wish Herlings was here this weekend. But yeah, so the first time that it's been in Florida for 23 years. So that's a pretty...
It's a big stat.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal for the championship. And hopefully it sticks around too, dude. It'd be sick to see... it'd be just sick to see like a race like that. In Florida, it's there's definitely like a ton of moto fans there too. It's one of the biggest states for moto in the country. Like Florida's about as redneck moto loving state as it gets. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to be I'll wake up early this weekend and I'll probably watch. Yeah, I'll probably watch all of it. Last weekend I couldn't because I had to go and choke some people. But yeah, this weekend
in a competition,
true. Yeah,
somewhere out in public.
Actually, yeah, it was a legitimate. I was able to choke people. What's next? So yeah, that's Florida. So then I guess we can just transfer into the GPs. So they had the Latvia round of the GPs on the weekend, which is one of my favorite tracks. The whole Latvia circuit's sick. It's like a sand track as well. I'm just going to stop this one, Mick, and we will look for the MXGP highlights of Latvia. Big news is Herlings broke his ankle. So did you see that? So he breaks his ankle in the on the sight lap, and then goes out and wins the first moto.
Crazy.
Fucking beast, bro.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely crazy. And did you hear the circumstances of him breaking his ankle?
Nah. So this is the video of the sight lap thing now.
Well, I haven't seen any vision of it, but from what I believe is he got ran into on the sight lap.
Yeah. So I think they said that they've got video of it here. So we're just going to try and watch it now. But yeah, so he gets
Yep.
Oh, damn. That like just
Straight
clipped
away.
him too. So they said that it's not bad and that he's not going to need surgery. So what I bet he's done is I bet he broke the fibula which is the skinny one at the back behind your shin bone. And then that one's like not crazy bad to break. So I bet that because it looked like it hit the back of his ankle. So I bet he's broke his fibula. I'm pretty sure they call that one. But yeah, how gnarly is that, dude, to then go out and then win the first moto and then come in after it and just go, yeah, I can't stand up.
And did you see when he got up? Like, he obviously knew, like, straight away. Like, you see him, he's like this, and to come out and do that straight away, it's
super
crazy.
Gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
So this is the Instagram post. Very sorry to say, I've broken my ankle, had a small crash on the siding lap, and another rider rode over my bad foot and broke my ankle. I decided after the siding lap to still line up for the moto, and even won the moto with a broken ankle. #humble brag. I just cannot believe it anymore. Of course, I'll be out for the second moto, feeling so sorry for my team and sponsors. Herlings is like slowly becoming I feel like he is going to be the most like talked about folklore guy ever.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that with, like, if you look at just the like the seasons that he would have left at the top level before these next dudes come through or whatever, like, I don't think he's going to break the records, because that was his thing. So he come out and he was maybe still the youngest world champion. So he come out and like that was his thing. He was like, I'm not going to go to America. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to break all the records in Europe. And it's not going to happen. Like, he's running out of years. He spent too many years injured. So it's like, I wonder what the move is for Herlings. Like, do you just go, okay, I'm just going to be like, because he is the baddest dude on a motocross bike, right?
For sure, yep.
Hands down. Like, he's a savage. So it's like, I wonder if he should start almost like turning his attention to just showing up, and just anyone that is like, oh, he could have something for Herlings, just be like, nah, sorry, bro. And just like destroy people, because he just doesn't seem like he's the kind of guy that can go and put together these like seasons back to back to back like Caroli was able to do. Like, you know what I mean? He's too injury prone. And like, why are you crashing on the sight lap?
Yeah, it's
when you're that good.
Yeah, that's right. It's I can't comment on that one, but it's huge. Like, to see that happen, pretty rare.
Gnarly, dude.
So,
and then in the 450 class, Caroli crashes out of the first moto.
Yeah.
And then, dude, so how's Geiser he was 40 points down on Caroli at one point this season. 40 points.
It's huge.
And he now has the points lead. So I was really pulling for Tony to win the championship this year, because he would have beat Evert's record.
Gets his 10.
Yeah. Oh no, Evert's got 10, right?
Yeah, Evert's got 10, and Caroli's on 9 now.
So he would have tied Evert, which, like, I like that when you get a guy like Caroli to come and tie the record.
Yeah.
It's almost a bummer in a way when someone beats a record like that.
Yeah.
So it's like completely unrelated, but Linkin Park were tied with the Beatles for the most debut #1 albums, and a couple of years ago they had the chance that if they debuted at #1 they would have beat the Beatles. And they pretty much sandbagged, and they made like this super weird screamo album, and they didn't really like promote it at all. And they were like, yeah man, it would just be weird if we beat the Beatles. Like, it's almost like a dick move, you know?
Yeah, and I heard someone say, I forget who it was, big artist, maybe someone out of Metallica. It's like Beatles are like oxygen. Yeah, they're not music; they're more than that sort of thing. And you start looking at records like that, it's being, you know. So yeah, it's huge to see. But would you like to see Herlings in the States?
I would love to see him do a season in the States. He was close to doing a season in the States this year.
Yeah,
like he got super close, because did I tell you that?
No.
So, dude, how badass is this? Cooper Webb went to Roger DaCosta and said, hey, man, you have my blessing to bring Herlings over. So, because his ankle wasn't, or whatever he broke, or his foot wasn't going to be ready for the first round, Herlings and KTM were talking about the idea of him starting at Hangtown and doing the full motocross championship. Apparently, Marvin said he wasn't cool with it, but Cooper then went to DaCosta and said, hey dude, I'm cool with it, because if I want to be the best, then I got to beat the best. So I think that would have been insane, and I would still to this day love to see Herlings come over and do a full season. I think he'd win too. Like it's like pretty hard to bet against him at this point, you know.
And seeing, you know, like you mentioned about him wanting to beat the records and get the records,
it's off the table now.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
You know, I think it'd be great. It'd be really great for the sport to have him there,
and that's what I mean is like, so if you can't win all of these races and you can't win the championships that you wanted to win and be like the most winning dude ever in Europe, like, then what you do is you just go and you beat everybody, every challenger. And it's like Motocross of Nations is cool, but it's like a one-off weekend. And it's like, the track could have suited here, the track could have suited there. And that's what was so cool about Villapoto going over, because it's like, all right, well, we'll see what happens over a full season, and he didn't last. No. So for Herlings, that's like the true test, you know. Like, and we can say, like, to me and to you, seems fairly obvious that he's the fastest dude right now. And I mean, the dude won the first moto with a broken leg, so it's like obviously he's fucking ripping. So I think that to say like I was the best dude, like when I was alive and racing motocross, I was the best dude on the planet.
And for me personally, I'd much rather see Herlings come to the States and ride more than I'd rather see Tomac and Roczen go back to MXGP.
Isn't it weird how that works?
Yep.
Because I'm the same.
Yeah, I'd much rather see him.
I don't know why that is.
I don't know why, but it's, for me, I'd much rather, and probably other people listening probably the same as well. I'd love to see Herlings come into the States, but to see, you know, I think Eli and Ken at the moment are the two pinnacle riders.
Yeah.
I'd rather see them stay there and do their thing, you know. It's weird. I'd love to see Herlings.
Yeah, I'm the same dude. I'd love to see. I just think like the tracks in Europe don't have like the same sort of mystique about them.
Yep.
And I think that they chop and change and they're sort of all over, and they don't. There's like, I think the AMA has done a great job, and the American media, and it's like it's branded. Like Redbud is a brand
for sure.
Unadilla is a brand.
Yep.
Like Latvia, like they say the country. You know, so it's like, they're in Latvia. Where the fuck in Latvia are they? It's and like we're in Dilla, like we're in Unadilla.
We know where this place. Yeah.
We're in Hangtown.
Yeah. And
I think that has been something that, I mean, and I'm just sort of spitballing on it, but right now to me that's what seems like is the difference. Like why I don't care about Europe as much is because I just don't have an attachment in the same way that I do with the US stuff. And it's like Southwick, Washougal. I know I can name every single track on the AMA, and it's like, and I'm sure everybody could, but you know, you go Latvia, GP of Sweden, you know, there's a couple like Lommel is legendary.
Yep.
You got that the French what's the name of the French track?
What basically like Australia, I feel we're like America's children. You know, what we as growing up, we always looked to America to see what America was doing with their racing, and you know, watching all the movies as kids, it was always, you know, American Jeep. It was all those American motocross. So we sort of follow that trend of America much more than the European culture, I feel here. So, and, you know, the amount of MXGPs, and I still love it, but the amount I've watched of that compared to a national is not much.
It's true. I think, though, it's like, in theory though, like it should change with the internet now, because we used to have to wait for DVDs and shit like that, but now we've got the internet, then we can't, like, we watch the highlights the same, it's all the same when it comes out. So
we've just been branded with that American thing, I think.
Sure. But I still think though too that they do a better job of the, like, branding the tracks, branding like just the whole thing. It's just becomes so easy to follow, and I think that you know, like I said, so Lommel's a good example of that. It's like everybody knows Lommel
for sure.
So I think for the GPs, like, you want to start trying to get these fans to religiously watch and know. It's like you've really got to like brand the circuits, not just the, you know, like Mugello. Yeah, it's like, you know what it is. Like, you don't say, like, I guess they do say the GP of Italy, but it's called Mugello. Yeah. Like, you know where that is, and it's the same as like Phillip Island. Yeah. So I think that, you know, I think that would go a long way towards, you know, having that sort of same level of like excitement or whatever. Yeah, and actually, I'll ask you this, like it's coming with the brand stuff, like growing up, the tires, you know, the Carlsbad,
the Washougal, the Melville type. Like,
Yeah.
they all had their own thing, and that was all part of creating the brand of those tracks as well. And, you know, they're all things that I always remember from growing up as a kid. So,
Yeah, no, totally agree, dude.
all part of it.
So then, I got just my notes here. Geiser now is in the points lead, which is cool. I love Geiser, dude. I love his style. He's so aggressive. He looks so good on the bike. I'm bummed. I really was hoping to see Caroli. I think it would be so fitting for him to get 10, tie Stefan Everts, and, you know, put a real sort of stamp on his career. But looks, I don't know, maybe. Obviously, it's not over. But it's just crazy, the swings, man. Like 40 points down to then now he's got the lead, and what can Caroli do? So it would have been very, very helpful for Tony to have Herlings in the championship.
Yeah,
they've
points
lost
barrier.
out. Yeah, they've lost out there. They're saying that he can be back by August, which is only just over a month away. But yeah, still pretty gnarly.
And I think, and I don't know exactly, but I think they've got a couple of rounds in succession too. It's pretty quick, bang bang sort of thing. So yeah, it's only a short time, but I think there's 2 rounds in between that period, which is pretty devastating if you're looking at the points wise. So, yeah.
They're saying too that Jorge Prado might come to America next year.
Wow.
Yeah, because he is going to point or age out of the 250 class.
Right.
So they're going to lose him over there due to that. But he's tiny. He's so young still. And then he has to go into the 450 class, which I just can't see him being ready for. And it's like, while you're so hot on a 250 right now, why not go to the US and then go back to Europe? Like, especially do motocross only. Be interesting to see if he does try his hand at Supercross, because that's always been the thing. Like, you get Marv, who could do Supercross, Ferrandis that could do Supercross. Like, Herlings didn't want to do Supercross. He had, when I was actually there, he had a day at the KTM test track and fucking cartwheeled through the whoops, like bad. Right. And then he was like, I'm not doing this. Like, this is fucked up. So you get a guy like Herlings that's just like not interested in it. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if Prado goes over there. He's still young enough. Like, I'm sure he's ridden Supercross tracks and stuff like that. Be interesting to see if he wants to do a full season over there, or if he just wants to do motocross.
Be good to see him do a full season.
Be sick.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, because he's such a talented kid. Have you seen the Red Bull TV thing that they did on him?
No.
They made like a full Red Bull TV feature on him. I'll look it up just in case anyone else wants to watch it.
How old is he now?
Oh, he's young, dude.
So he's capped out though.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Yeah, Red Bull Jorge Prado documentary. Feet in the Dirt. So if anyone wants to watch that, just go to Red Bull and just search Red Bull Feet in the Dirt with Jorge Prado. And it's a documentary of his 2018 World Championship. I haven't watched it yet. It's 24 minutes long. But yeah, I've been keen to watch it. He's super young.
While we're on the GP thing, Herlings' bike, like when you just flicked it on there, how good does it look?
What's that? His
Herlings
bike?
KTM.
Yeah. Dude, the KTMs just look so sick at the moment, just in general.
Just awesome, mate. Just when you flick that on the screen just before, just looks...
Which one?
Just on the crash one. I think it's the start of the video on your second screen you've got up there.
Which one, John?
The back screen. Yeah, it's at the start of that video, I think it was.
I'll just refresh it.
When they're in the pits.
Oh, yeah, when they're...
I think they're adjusting the bars on it.
Yeah, the old factory KTM just looks so good.
Yeah.
I love that guys are still rocking that. Yeah, look at that thing.
Yeah.
It's Titty City, baby.
Love that.
It's crazy too how KTM just they just bought so many brands along with them.
For sure.
They just stuck to their guns. A Kropovich exhaust, WP suspension. It's like they were so staunch in we want to work with these people. We want to build these brands. And now they're you get a Kropovich exhaust is like some of that nicest stuff you can get.
Yeah, and as a brand, it's grown its market huge as well.
Massive.
Because of the KTM side of it. I feel anyway. So.
No, I totally agree. I never knew of them before KTM.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll move on to some random stuff. Did you see that Christian Craig got done for with water?
Yes.
Did you read much into it?
No.
Pretty much, like, it's just essentially like a tainted supplement. So I don't know if many listeners are as into like the UFC stuff as what I am, but basically this shit happens all the time in the UFC. So like if you go to what's like a nutrition shop here,
The supplement den.
yeah,
Without branding someone. But
yeah. So if you go to somewhere like that and you say you want to get pre-workout, so like they're all made in these factories in China or wherever. They've got these huge vials of shit and they're just like mixing in all the ingredients, stirring them up, bam, out comes your powder. They package it, bottle it, they clean out the silos or the vats or whatever it is, then they put the new batch of stuff in. So like if you've got to get these brands like Miles, right?
Yep.
So Miles has Combat, CMBT, his supplement company, and they're actually like WADA and ASADA tested and approved. So they've gone through this whole process because fighters get drug tested basically every fight. These motocross guys, it's fairly random, but they get tested every single fight. So like if they want to take any kind of supplements like pre-workout, BCAAs, any of that kind of stuff, they need to be like super, super careful.
Yep.
So I just don't think the moto dudes are under that level of scrutiny. So like, you know, Christian Craig has taken some kind of pre-workout or BCAAs or whatever, and it's been tainted with a super low percentage of this drug.
Yep.
And now they've it's all been on the down low. They let him keep racing because they basically said like there's no way you could have ingested this.
It's not an enhancement.
Knowingly, yeah.
Yep.
So I think it is an enhancement drug that they found, but it's in such a small quantity that he couldn't have actually taken it for a performance enhancing purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he has, I mean, dude, he's had like such a shit year, like complete like a write-off year. And it sucks because this happened back in Supercross, and it's like you've seen what happened with Tickle, and it's like now he's going through the same thing in a way. Obviously, Tickle got completely suspended, but yeah, so it just sucks that this sort of stuff is happening and keeps happening, and it's like, I mean, I don't know, like we do need to have drug testing in the sport, but I think that the way that it gets handled, like especially like the James Stewart thing for like an Adderall prescription, he had a prescription, he didn't write, like it's a form, like fuck off, like that was the start of the end for James.
Yeah.
You know, so to me it's just like, I don't know, this shit just seems like they just don't deal with it very well at all, and it's kind of frustrating. And you look at a guy like Craig, like he said on his Instagram post that, yeah, I was, you know, it's been weighing on me, like he doesn't know if he's going to get suspended, he doesn't know how fans are going to react. So it's like, you just fucking with these dudes' livelihoods.
You're holding them to ransom.
Oh, for sure. And there's no clear-cut process of appeals. There's no, like, look how long Tickles took, look how long James's took. Like, I don't know, man. To me, it seems like bullshit, but it's like, I don't know, what's the other way to go about it?
Yeah, I know of someone here, a road racer, that's having the same issue.
Really?
And the FIM won't answer. Like, just, there's no clear cut, this is it. Your race license is suspended, yes, but how long, what? And it was the same thing, it's like a minimal thing, but I want to have a conversation to you that stuff later, actually. So
yeah, okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's honestly bullshit, man. Like, and it's crazy because it's the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
Yep.
And it's like, we don't allow that in any other form of any law enforcement, any government agency. Like, there's always separate entities for prosecution, for you know, the handing out sentencing. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to play all of those roles, especially when we're dealing with people's livelihoods.
For sure.
So I mean, it was sad to see Christian Craig coming out with that this week. So yeah,
And it is a message too. Like, you don't want to see doping in sport, but there's doping, and then there's something like this.
Yeah.
This is two total different topics, you know. So it's,
and a dude like Christian Craig isn't like Lance Armstrong that's got doctors like Christian Craig is literally driving down to GNC and buying supplements off the counter.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing special going on. So it's like you're holding this guy to this Olympic standard of drug testing.
Yep.
But he has a punter's level of purchase options.
Yep.
It's like, how the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's some huge gaps in the system when it comes to that, and it's pretty frustrating. Dino's back riding. I saw that he is back, and he. This is why I love Dean, and this is why. Just gonna search up his Instagram here. This is why I love Dean, and this is what everybody needs to look at Dean and go, okay, cool. This is how it's supposed to get done. You know who this is in this photo? Marshawn fucking Lynch. One of the greatest players in the NFL. One of the most recognizable faces in American sport. And they hooked up at Oakland Supercross. Dean, I think it's through Ignite Cannabis too. I just spitballing there, but I'm pretty sure that's where the relationship started. But he has run his jersey for opening ceremonies at Oakland. They've got together. Dean's, come hang out, come ride, and we now have Marshawn Lynch on a Husky wearing O'Neill gear, Alpine Star boots. Like, Beast Mode has, let's see how many followers we got. 1.7 million followers right now. So it's like, this dude's one of the most recognizable faces in American sport, and here's Dean rubbing shoulders with him. It's like, this is so smart. This is like where all of our thinking needs to be going. Like, and people don't know, but Will Hahn and Daniel Ricciardo are like best friends.
Really?
Like, Will, what the fuck are you doing? Let the world know. We want to see that shit. Like, Will flew to Monaco with Ricciardo in his private jet. Like, they're full homies, dude.
Yep.
So it's like, this is the stuff that's cool. This is the stuff that moves the needle for motocross. Like, Marshawn Lynch puts this on his story, and it's like, how many potential new motocross fans can that convert?
The people that Dean single-handedly has brought into the sport.
Insane, bro.
Through relationship like this. Dan
Bilzerian, Marshawn Lynch.
That's massive following of people.
Huge.
So, yeah, he's got it going on.
Yeah, so Dean's a man. He's back riding. He said his shoulder's still kind of cooked, but he will be back as soon as he can. I cannot wait to have him back at the races, and I'm excited. Hopefully, actually, this leads on to our next topic, but...
Can I just say something about Dean as well?
Yeah.
Like, the guy, there's a young guy down in northern New South Wales, Luca Munro. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's got kidney cancer.
Yeah, right.
And Dean reached out and donated his jerseys from when he came to Australia for it.
He's the best dude.
Like, just good people in the sport's awesome to see.
Yeah, he is the best dude ever. Yeah, so November 30th, Marvel Stadium. I just want to see if they've got... so Ando's announced to be back. Carmichael's announced to be back. Who else have they got? I'm trying to see if they got Dino back. I'm sure that they will be. Savachi will be there. Chad will be back. Brayton obviously comes back to do the series. It's shaping up to be an insane event at Melbourne. We are going to be there again doing the live podcast, bigger and better. Last year was so sick. Like, basically, me and Rob from Nobby just it was Rob's idea. And we just were like, all right, cool, we'll go do it. We didn't really promo it. We didn't really... I don't want to say we didn't put effort into it. Obviously, we put effort into it, but it was a very loose arrangement. We didn't know how it was going to go. It ended up being one of the coolest things that we did in the podcast all year. So the AME boys have pumped to get us back to do it. We'll be doing it again with Nobby, and I think we're going to be doing it way bigger and way better. I think we definitely proved last year that people are super into it. I'm very excited, and I got a friend that lives in Melbourne, and he just said that this stadium is so good there. I think you've said as well how much you like the stadium.
Yeah, I've been to the Speedway twice there.
That's
Monster
right, you were
Energy
saying
Speedway.
that, yeah.
And for a motorsport event, this is the place you need to be.
Really?
This is awesome. It's a great stadium.
What makes it so good, you reckon?
Well, low risk. It's got a roof on it, which is one good thing for an event.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere. You're right on the edge of the stadium. It's built up really nicely. The facilities there. It's it's the best, one of the better stadiums I've been to in Australia for sure. And as a motorsport event, it's going to be great.
Yeah, dude, I'm like super excited. I'm pretty sure tickets are on sale now. It's not an ad for them, but yeah, I'm like super excited. So yeah, November 30, Marvel Stadium, Docklands, get amongst it. We'll be there. No, yeah, I'm super excited. And Bailey and Sando are actually coming on the podcast. They're going to fly up. It's interesting that they were sort of, I was talking to them, they were like, oh man, I wish people knew like what went into signing riders for the events, how hard like the manufacturers push back against the guys coming. Dudes like Dean and Ando, like they push to come.
Yep.
So there's like I don't think there's a lot of information about just how gnarly it is and just the risk, bro. Like we were in New Zealand for the Supercross last year, and it's like they were going to lose millions if that rain came down and ruined that track and they couldn't ride. Like millions and millions of dollars. Like, so they're playing. There's a couple of Aussie boys that are young dudes playing high stakes poker just to try and make Supercross stay alive in Australia. Like, it's insane the risks that they're taking. And then, you know, like, I think that there's probably a little bit of that whole tall poppy thing where it's like, now that they are succeeding, everyone's like expecting, you know, or like sort of trying to rip them down in a way. But it's like, man, when you risk that much, bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And those boys put everything on the line to make Supercross what it is in Australia again. And I think that going forward, man, like it's going to be one of the most respected championships in the world.
Yeah, where people want to come.
Oh, bro, for sure. Yeah. And it's like, look at the form that Dean was able to get going into the Supercross in Australia. Brayton did great. Again, like the level was insane. It was important for Chad. Like Chad needed a good showing at that event to really push for the deal that he got. Like it's becoming like a key off-season event globally, and it's starting to impact the way that teams are signing and, you know, form going into Anaheim. Like, and that's the thing too, is like the timing is perfect for the pre-Anaheim.
You couldn't want better timing.
No.
Like November 30, Anaheim, I don't know the date, but it's probably January 5, January 7,
6,
something
7,
like that.
yeah.
So you got 4 and a bit, 5 weeks. It's a perfect time for it. So, yeah, exciting time.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to have those boys on the podcast, and I also can't wait to just be at that event again. That was one of the highlights of my year.
For sure, it was great, and I think they have got New Zealand too, which will be
just
around the same time,
like
16th of November or something. So
that was one of the best Supercrosses I've ever been to.
It was like, you know, we were both there. The rain was crazy. Like the job that they did to put that event on, you just can't. Without being there, you just wouldn't know.
You couldn't appreciate how close it was to them losing millions of dollars.
Yeah, and the pre-sale tickets, like they obviously know the number, but it was something like
15,000, I think.
Was it 15?
Yeah.
Where do you do that at?
No.
Like we haven't seen that in the Southern Hemisphere for Supercross in ages. So they've done a fantastic job. And
even like, you know, Townley, the way that they did like the radio, they got Townley involved, and you know the Townley's view on how important it is was really cool to see too. Like he's a guy that knows. He's in New Zealand all the time. He's working with kids. He's coaching. And did you see that Ben put on his Instagram the other day that he's gonna offer like free coaching for Supercross for guys that want to race Auckland? That's cool. So it's like, fuck, bro. It's like it's starting to be a movement now. You know, these guys have really lit the fire under so many people. And I mean, I'm more excited about this shit than I've ever been, dude. This to me is better than the Super X thing. Like that never got past the stage of being a gimmick. You know, like that's the thing with like the way that these guys are doing this now, is that I think it's so smart the way that they just put on one event. And like, let's tie it in the championship. We'll just do one event. And then it's like the undersell, over deliver. They didn't come in saying we're going to revamp. We're going to do this whole massive series that's going to cost XXX, and we're then going to have all of this pressure to recoup all this money. There's no margin for error. These guys were super smart in the way that they did it. They integrated it into the championship, and now they've let it grow, and they've let it grow, and they've let it grow. And now we've got 2 events. But hang on, it's not just at the tiny little basketball stadium anymore.
No.
Now we're in Marvel Stadium, Australia's premier sporting venue. It's like, it's that slow build, man. And now it's like, when you talk about this and you talk about it to the riders in America and you talk about it to the teams in America, you talk about it to the teams here, this isn't a gimmick anymore.
No.
Like, they're fucking here to stay. And they've grown into this event that they now have. And it's like, this is just the first year it's in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And we're like super excited and saying how like great that this is. And it is. But like, this is just year 1.
Yep.
Imagine where this shit's going to be 5 years from now. And it's like, yeah, it's super exciting. And it's the first time that it's been beyond a gimmick.
Yeah.
Super X stayed in gimmick phase.
And what? How many years into this are they? Is it this is the 5th or 4th?
Fourth year.
4th year. I like the part of being Melbourne too. Like, Melbourne is like the sports capital, like,
of Australia.
Of
for
Australia.
Sure.
So that city gets behind sport. So it's going to be like an awesome event. So yeah, exciting.
Sweet, bro. Well, I think that about wraps us up. I didn't really have anything else here. Just on an hour, banging an hour. Dunskies. Thanks heaps for making the drive in, bro.
No worries.
How'd it feel being in that chair today? It was good.
Yeah, good on the high chair. I miss the computer though.
Yeah, I know. I miss you on the computer too, to be honest.
Sort of feel a bit,
Bit naked. You're just
naked.
like chilling here. You got nothing to do.
I've got nothing to do.
Yeah, I know. We'll get you back on the computer. I just wasn't set up. It's going to be too lonely over there. So needed you on the big desk today, bro.
That's good.
Righto, just a quick shout out to our sponsors that make this happen. Firstly, thanks to the guys at MX Store. Only fitting that the Motocross Companion is brought to you by the MX Store. You can head to mxstore.com.au. You can buy all of your aftermarket accessories for your pride and joy. I've said it on here before, but I'm in the process of rebuilding the Screaming Eagle for Day in the Dirt. Are you going to go down for the Transmoto 6 hour?
Nabiak?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I might go down and sweep ride because I think all the teams are full. But it's like a full sand track, eh?
Yeah, it's going to be gnarly. Yeah.
I'm kind of half keen to do that. Maybe I need to go to MX Store to get some fucking grip donuts or something. But yeah, so you can head to mxstore.com.au. Everything you need, tyres, oil, gear, like literally you name it, you can get it from there. Some of the best customer service in the game. And if you live in southeast Queensland, you can just visit their showroom in Burleigh, which is where they've got their warehousing and everything out of. Super great group of people. Secondly, the guys at Rival Inc. If you follow Gypsy Tales on Instagram at Gypsy Tales Podcast, like you should, then you would have seen last couple of days that we just dropped the Gypsy Tales Rival Inc. collab. We've sold a few of them. I'm pumped because they're going to be out in the wild. We're getting one for the Screaming Eagle. We're getting one for Mick's Screaming Eagle. But yeah, it looks amazing. Those guys did such a good job. You can get literally everything that you need graphics wise from Rival. They do plastics, they do seat covers, they do the stickers themselves, they do jersey prints, they do helmet stick, they do everything, and the quality is second to none. So you can head to rivalinkdesignco.com to get that sorted for your bike. And yeah, send me photos when people get those graphics kits because I am excited. Thirdly, the guys at nobbyunderwear.com.au. The messages that I get of people that have converted to Nobby is like outrageous. It's so good. It's one of my favorite things about doing the show is when people genuinely get behind the sponsors of the show and then they are just completely blown away with how good the product is. I constantly talk about how good the underwear is, and it's just not because it's an ad. Like, there's a reason that these guys have been advertising with us for over a year. We absolutely love them, and I know with 100% certainty that there would not have been a day that has gone by since we signed that deal with them that I've not worn their underwear. It is that good. I do not own anything else, and when you sign up, you do your $20 a month. You don't need to either. underwear is a thing that you never have to think about again. So you can head to nobbyunderwear.com.au, sign up. It's $20 a month, and you're on. You're set. You literally never have to think about it again. I got a DM the other day from a guy that said that he ordered, because they've got an online store, like you can just go and order one pair. And he went on, bought one pair because he didn't want to do the sign up thing. And then as soon as he got the package, he didn't even put them on. He got the package, he felt the underwear, he went straight onto the website and he signed up and sent me a message and told me that story, which I was pretty pumped on. So that is that's what you're dealing with Nobby. And finally, our just epic friends at Boost Mobile, we're about to launch a new segment that is going to be with them. It's going to be a short news style segment. I'm pretty excited about doing that, a different style of content. And that is why I love working with those guys. They're super innovative. They're always thinking about new ideas, new ways to do things in that telecommunication space. And that is why that they are Australia's leading prepaid mobile service provider. You can go to boost.com.au. You can look at all of their packages. They do 6-month deals, 12-month deals, month-to-month. And the best thing is that you can actually just transfer your number from your current provider, and you can transfer that over to Boost. It takes about 5 minutes on the phone, and then you don't lose your number, but you get all of the amazing benefits of being on the full 4G Telstra network. And then it's just the cost. The amount of data that you get for the cost it's ridiculous. So thank you very much for listening. Mick, thank you for sitting on the big chair with me today and running through a really great week in motocross. That was a sick weekend between the GPs, between High Point, all of the action. Hunter got his first win. That was a good week.
Definitely a good week.
And I'm looking forward to Florida this weekend.
Yeah, Florida's going to be great.
Florida. Righto. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Mick. And we will see you guys next week for another episode of the Gypsy Tales Motocross Companion.